So Helmut, what's your top tips for success in deploying customer experience? And can you give us a couple of challenges and possible pitfalls that some companies might fall into?
Well, first of all, is try to understand well your customers. Get as well good insights from your own teams who are interfacing with customers. That's probably the best learning ground, apart from also, of course, having good consultative advice and some professional services from outside. But a lot of knowledge sits already within your own company in terms of interacting, plus also your own customers. And then, of course, try to find ways to scale, to make a solution that is scalable, which means you start off fast with a pilot in a given country, because then you can tune the solution, and then ideally you make the same harmonious approach across the globe. We are just rolling out together with Genesis across the globe for a Fortune 500 big industrial company, a complete new customer experience solution. We started off in APJ, Asia Pacific, now we are doing EMEA, then comes Americas, and there the aim was clearly, first, let's start off and integrate the complexity of Japanese language or China, as well as the markets in ASEAN and Australasia. We do this first, and with this we tune the solution, and then we have a scalable platform that we can roll out, in this case westwards of that customer. So pitfalls would be to say, in my view, a big pitfall is to say it's a technological problem, or to say I can solve customer experience with a technology solution. Yes, there is a brick which is kind of consisting of technology, as you have mentioned, Jerry, in terms of software and a certain services wrap. It's really about rethinking as well the engagement process with customers, your own assets in terms of people who are interacting, and around this then you frame and you design the right and correct technological fundamental solution. And please, one thing, because we talked before, we talked about this when we talked about omnichannel and so on, that today's notion still in some areas is it's a call center and so on. Do not, I would say as a pitfall, do not underestimate the complexity of voice. You need ideally a partner who is able to handle these topics, because first-time resolution you mentioned is key. I would agree with that, but it has to be a seamless experience. And for this old dog voice should not be underestimated in terms of complexity, because it's like electricity, it needs to work, and therefore build a solution that is scalable but also reliable in terms, because it's your reputation, it's your interface, it's your engagement that is at stake with customers. I hope that gives a quick flavor of some pitfalls and learnings.
Mark, so is customer experience for every company, or do you think there are some that not necessarily work with?
Well, two things, two questions in that. I think there are a tip, I think it's consistent with what Helmut was saying, which is when it's really around customer journey mapping. So as opposed to taking, just existing interactions and replicating those in new technologies and trying to sort of stick them together, it's actually to say, well, how does in the B2B to C concept, how does that C want to interact? And let's design the journeys from a consumer's perspective and then implement the systems from that way around, as opposed to, here's how we do it, just want to bolt that bit on, and then the consumer will kind of work with how we're doing it. The best examples are people who kind of go through a process of much more innovative customer journey mapping. So that's sort of the first part of that. The other question, and I won't give examples because I don't want to get sued, but the opposite of laggards is equally true, and we experience them from day to day. And more often than not, we find them potentially in the press because their systems have gone down. And so they're in a short-term gain of improving their P&L by not investing in the systems, but it's a long-term loss. And I think we can all point to businesses that we interact with where you can see that's going on, and then 3 years' time, they're in deep trouble because they simply failed to invest and understand the need to improve that customer experience. Yes, you can have a short-term gain in your P&L, but long-term systems underinvestment and long-term underinvestment in CX will ultimately bring the business down.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have today. I'd like to close by thanking our panel of experts, Jerry Brown from IDC, Mark Turner from Genesis, and Helmut Reisinger from Orange Business Services. Now, customer experience is an evolving and fast-moving topic area, and I really hope that this time today has helped you and given you some good ideas that you can take back to your business. You can also click the links below this video to go through to the Genesis or OBS websites. You can also go through to their relevant YouTube channels where they'll give you some extra content as well. So my name is Miles Dawson from IDC. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.